Right, so I've created another folder here, and I've just basically moved all the parts over the i3Ds into this folder. So now we need to create our XMLs. Now you can get these from various different places. There's loads of mods around. Just take the mod desk from somewhere else, whatever you need to do. I tend to go into the base game here under the SDK, go into maps. Doesn't matter which one, and there's a mod desk there. If you can't find one for whatever reason, just drag that and copy it. Okay. You want me to change some things in here, so put your name in, whatever that might be, and then set all your other parts up. Now, as far as this goes, I'm just going to call this test. Doesn't really matter for this one. That's something that I would change at a later date once I knew everything was working correctly and whatever else. I'd add all this stuff in, but you want to have something in here get you going, sort of thing. We can do all that. The map stuff obviously isn't required, so you just basically delete that. And so on and so on. And I don't remember what this is up to now. It might be 74, but we can find that out later on. That's fine. And you will need to add in your store data. Again, base game, you can find all that sort of stuff. So if I go into Farm Sim, the Farm Sim base game here, go to data, maps, then go into any one of the maps, you'll have store items. You just go into there and then just find it. So you've got like your start tag there. You just copy that, paste it into somewhere over here. So whatever, you can paste that in, and then paste it again, and then create your end tag. So just put a / there, and put a space. And we can take any one of these lines, just copy that, paste it in like so. Okay. Now you've got your store item information there. We can close that, delete any extra bits we don't need. And then you can set up, whatever this might be, whatever you're going to call that later on. So you can save that. And then if you haven't got it already, I would recommend to get it because this is where I got the information from. On the Giants Developer Network, you've got this AGI Pack SDK. There is actually the full mod for this that you can get from the mod hub. You do have to give them your email address to get it, but no big deal. But you can get this from the Giants Developer Network, and it has a lot of different information here. So you go into like the placeables. I go into here. You've got the Sentinel Garage, which has the actual animated objects, dynamically loaded animated objects here, and you can just take the actual XML from here and copy it over to your mod. So you just literally drag, copy, okay, and then just change the name to whatever you want it to be. So again, I could call this whatever I wanted. So again, I just might call this, test. That's fine, doesn't matter. Then in your mod desk, you would just put in here test, whatever you've called that file, so it all matches together, right? You can do that. Then in here, just kind of change the values to whatever you want it to change it to. So we'll leave most of it as default. The brand I probably would change to Lizard. So in here, I'll just come in and change this to Lizard. We can keep it under sheds, that's fine, doesn't matter. The price I probably would reduce that for test purposes. Set it to whatever you want. I might set it to like 1, so I don't have to try and cheat money in or whatever else. You can change the price to whatever you want later on to suit, which is fine. We'll keep the function as a garage, that's fine, doesn't matter. Again, that's something you would change later on to whatever you need it to be, or whatever you're trying to create. If it's a, excuse me, I'm losing my voice again. Change all this stuff later on to whatever you need it to be. So if it's going to be a placeable factory, you'd need to change the placeable type to suit and all that sort of stuff. So it'd be production or whatever it's called there, I forget. but that's not, you know, we can leave all that stuff as is for now, because this doesn't have any production value to it or anything like that. No, it's literally just a placeable shed just to test the animated doors and whatever. This I would obviously change. So again, I might just call that test or whatever and create an image to suit. So we'll just do like whatever, like that. Then this would obviously be for your, you know, your main i3D. So in this case, it's just called building. So potentially I would just take the name from there just to make sure that I'm not spelling it incorrectly or whatever else. Very easy to do that. And all this sort of stuff here, you know, is going to be pretty much as is. The only thing I have here that's different is the indoor area. I believe I have 2 of those in mind. So I would need to create another set of those, which is easy to do. I'll just literally highlight the line and then, you know, paste it in like so, and then just change this to 2. Okay, so I have my indoor areas. We can check that later on. Tip occlusion areas, that's fine. No, I don't, as far as all this sort of stuff goes, when it comes down to this, that's something that you'd have to kind of play around with a bit later on, you know, with all that sort of stuff. But for this, I'm just going to delete the obstacles because I don't need any of that stuff, and just, you know, go with the update area here, which is basically the same value as my tip occlusion update area, which is fine. And then this is where it gets down to the animation stuff and all the keyframes. I don't have any lights, so I'm just going to basically remove all of those. That's something you would add back in later on potentially. And I only have 1 animated door here, so I'm just going to delete everything else that isn't part of what I want. So I'm just going to go to here and then down to here, delete. I just have my 1 animated object, okay, which is fine. And we just need to set all that stuff up. So I'm going to save that. And then there's going to be a lot of stuff here that I don't need or will need to be renamed and whatever else. Again, I haven't got any of the occluders. That's something that would need to be added in. Going to delete that. Don't need a light trigger. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Well, there's a lot of stuff there that basically I'm not going to need. But let's see. I will probably delete most of this and add it back in as I need it. So we could possibly do, see here. We can do down to the clear areas possibly. Let's just make sure, delete that. We'll go to there and then go from this one. Yeah, pretty much all the way to the bottom actually. And I'll just add in what I need as I need it. I like to just kind of start from scratch, you know, trying to amend things that are already there can become more complicated, I think, in my opinion, than just starting again and you know, adding in what you need as you need it, sort of thing. So here what I would do though is for the indoor areas, I'm just going to copy those and then just paste them in because I have, oh, okay, copy, paste, work that time, right, and then I'll just update this to 2, okay, and then we have whatever we need after that, that's fine. So let's see here. So this one here, I'm just going to rename this to, what do I call it? Double door, I think it was, wasn't it? So we'll just do double door 01. And then that I don't need. Fine. Yeah, that should all be fine there. Don't need the occluder because I haven't actually got that. That's again something that would need to be added later on. But for now, I just want to get the door itself animated, and then the rest of the stuff would be created and added as needed, kind of thing. So we can just go for that, right? So go ahead and save that. Right. So I need to create. See here, I need to create a door trigger. So it might just be easy to open it. Again, using this as a reference for, what I need. So we'll just go to here and we have doors and then door triggers here. I'll just put that up on my other window. If I go back to mine, building, if you're going to create multiple doors using the same animation, obviously here under door, we would want to have that inside of another transform group, theoretically. Yes, so what I potentially would do then is, in this particular case, it doesn't necessarily matter. But what I might do is create another transform group here, put that in there, put that in there, for that doors. And this one here would be door 01. Okay. Then if you had multiple versions of this, you have duplicated versions of this around, you'd have door 02, door 03, so on and so on. So if I create another transform group, and we'll do that, I'll put that at the top. Then this one will be door, oops, triggers. Okay. Then I'm going to create my door trigger. So go to here. See, this has a rigid body of that. That's okay. That's fine. So what I need to do then, if I go to here, see, so if I do create primitive cube, I'm going to do the same as I did last time. So what I will do is move this up on the Y by 0.5, edit, freeze, translate. Okay, and I can take the values from here. So Control Shift C, Control Shift V, which will put that there. And then I can scale this appropriately, so I can make it a bit bigger, whatever, to make it work what I need it to do. So yeah, something perhaps maybe like that, maybe a bit smaller. Again, that's something you'd have to work out for your own purposes, but this is in a corridor, so you would walk into the corridor to activate the trigger, sort of thing. And it's more than big enough on the outside, so that should be more than enough there. Edit, freeze, uncheck, translate, check scale, and do that. Then this one would be in here, and then this one would be whatever I wanted to call it, really. So this would be, I don't know, let's call it trigger door 01. Right. Okay, and then we need to do rigid body. This is that value, kinematic compound trigger. Okay. yeah, so that should be that. And then we go shape and do this, distance blending and save. Okay, so we have our door trigger, awesome. We have all those parts, that's fine. So that should be fine. Again, I'm not getting into all the occluder stuff just now. That would come much later. I need to making sure that all the other stuff works first, in my opinion, is what matters. And then, the occluder would come later on, which is fairly straightforward to do, in my opinion, as far as the doors go, because all you would have here is an occluder in front of the door. And then as the door is activated in your XML, you would be basically turning the visibility of that occluder off. So it's just literally a keyframe visibility on and visibility off. Okay, and that would then, do what it says it's doing. It's turning the occluder on when the door is closed, turning it off, or having the occluder in the on position kind of thing when the door's closed. And as the door opens, the occluder turns itself off, sort of thing. So all of those sorts of things can be added in later. But and they are part of the building, not the door. They do not move with the door. Okay, they would just literally be in this place here, part of the building. So perhaps maybe in their own transform group. Again, use that SDK as a reference. It shows you all the stuff in there that needs to be done. It's quite handy to have that, in my opinion, just to kind of reference what needs to be set up where, kind of thing. Okay, so we should have all of that stuff set up there. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to move this up onto my other monitor here, because we now need to set up all the other parts here in the XML under our i3D mapping. So I have my door trigger, so I'm just going to rename this here. This is my door trigger. That's fine, which I need to add in back down there. That's okay, doesn't matter. So what we need to do then is yeah, okay, so if I go to here, I need to go into here, so I can choose possibly this one here. Yeah, well, maybe that one actually. Do that one. Let's try that one and see if it actually works on that one. It should do. So we'll do that one as my root node. So I'll try and remember how this is set up here. Should be fine. So if I take the name from there, we'll paste that into there, and all of these as well, like so. And then this one here is double door underscore source. That name is the name of the actual action. So this name that's in here, right? So that's what you need to put in there. And the root node is, in this case, I've chosen the actual mesh. This is the root node that I'm using, but I'm going to see if that works. It may not work. And then we need to actually link that. So here we would have the name of this. So this is obviously door animation. So we'll take the name from there. And here I'm just going to basically overwrite all of that with that. So it will be door animation i3D, right? So let's go and save that. That should be fine there. So if I close this one down now then. And then what I need to do is actually set up all this other stuff here. So door trigger. So let's create a few of these, and then we'll just go into here, take that one, I'll give it a bit of a space. So we'll do door trigger 01, and that is that value right there. And then let's see here. So we should have clear area start 0, 0, 0. And that. Then we have, see what we've got here. I don't seem to have any level areas here for some reason. I may have deleted them by accident, but that's okay. What we'll do then is, let's do 1, 2, 3, and I'll just take these, paste them there, and then I'll just do, let's see here. This is going to be level. Copy that, paste, paste. That should be fine. So if I then do this, the paste, the paste. If you're wondering where I'm getting that from, if you click on the item here and then go over to the attributes under the index path, this is what you want to take here. You just basically copy that, and that is your node in here. So we just paste that into there like so, okay? So then we have indoor areas. So we'll do this one. Put that there. Copy, paste, copy, paste. And then my indoor area 2. The paste. Paste. Copy, paste. And then we have our test area. Do that. Copy that one. Paste. That one. And then tip occlusion update area. Copy that. Put that in there. And that into there. And then I can do, let's do this. So if I do this, copy that, paste, copy, paste, and we'll do this. Coal, that's fine. Door triggers, that's fine. And then we need to put in, when you do this, you need to put in each of the individual parts here so that they all, it knows what it is basically. Otherwise it won't work. If I go back to this one here, if I go into the XML, you can see down the bottom here in the i3D mapping, it has every single part. So it's got the garage door, the frame, the hydraulic cylinder, the punch, and all of the parts, the sliding parts, the springs. It even has the actual screws, which are just decals, by the way, but it has every single part there, all set up, you know, i3D maps. So they need to basically do the same thing there. So what I'm going to do then is we'll do, let's see, that is under this one. So let's do that. Let's create another one there. Do this. So we've got that, that. And then it would be this one. So copy, paste. That's just going to be that. Paste. We can say root. Paste. And then I've got Doro 1. This would be Doro 1. Like so. Then we've got handle. O1. Like so. And latch part. Which is like so. And then let's make a be placed. Open a door 01, which is this. And then copy paste ref 01 and copy paste. Now I will say that in Blender, in the i3D exporter tools, there is a way to link this XML so that it will actually do your i3D mapping for you. My experience of that is hit and miss. It works and it doesn't work, or it works and doesn't give you the right values. And I generally find that the time I spend trying to get that to work correctly, I could have done this already myself manually. Now, I'm sure that that is something that I'm not doing correctly. But you know, it is there. So, you know, it might be beneficial for you guys to try that out, see if you can get it to work. As I say, my experience with it is that it doesn't work all the time, not the way that it should do. And again, I suspect that that's something that I'm doing wrong, but yeah, I could end up wasting a lot of time trying to get that to work, only to, you know, like I say, I could have potentially done this manually and had it all working, you know, already before I figure out what's going on with that particular part of the tool. So, yeah. Just wanted to mention it though, because it could be, you know, I know what's going to happen. You guys are going to say in the comments that it can be done. All of this can be done for you with the thing, but yeah, it can. But if you can get it to work, and if you can get it to work, fantastic. I can't, not on a regular enough basis that I'm comfortable using it for everything. You know, so I just find this just as easy to do it this way. So we've got door 02 handle, open a door 02, and then ref 02. And we'll do this, and we'll do the collisions and everything as well. Why not? Might as well. So let's do this, copy, paste, copy, paste, and the index. And then lastly, we'll just do the actual, this one. I need to do this one primarily because I've set that as my root node here. Okay. And by that, I mean the actual door mesh itself. Right, so we've got all these parts here, which are the bones converted into transform groups, and they are mesh skinned to parts as we've already gone over in Blender. But this is the mesh itself for the door, and I've set that as my root node here in the clip animation settings. So I need to put that down here and actually map it in the i3D section, right? So we should have all of those parts as we need to have them. The spaces here aren't that important. We can clean that up if necessary later on. But as far as things go, I want to get this, placed and make sure that it is actually working the way I want it to work. So let's save that and close it. So I think we should have everything there set up correctly, I believe. What I need. So let's close that. That's all set up and everything else. So I'm very quickly going to, let's see. Yeah, what we'll do then, if I create a new folder here, let's call that mods. We'll just pop that into there. Yeah, so I'm not worried about the icon and the script, the story image just yet. I want to just get this into game and see if it actually does work, because that will give me an indication of if it doesn't work, why doesn't it work, and what problems I need to fix. Okay, if it does work, awesome. But if not, then we need to fix some stuff. Now I'm using, the SJ mod folder switcher by Dajnet. You can get this over on his what's it called? Anyway, I'll put a link in the description to it so you guys can get that if you want it. But it should already be set up for this because I've actually deleted the folder. But just checking, that should be fine. Make sure that that is actually the one I've got selected. That's good. It's good if you've got multiple maps and you want to separate things out. It's got a lot of features that can be used primarily for the Pleasant Valley maps, the Dajnet maps, but there are some other features to it that can be used without all that other stuff being used or utilized. If you just want to switch folders for your different mods that you've got set up, it's very good for just doing that, even if you don't use any of the other features. So we've got our placeable, so let's go into game then. very quickly here, and we'll just see if this actually does work. It's showing up so far in here, but yeah, obviously I don't have an icon, which is fine. I don't care about that just yet. Might take a little while to load in because this is the first time I've loaded up FarmSim today. But shouldn't have too many problems going on here. It will get there when it gets there, sort of thing. It's fine. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so if I go into here, if I bring up this, what we should be able to see, if there's any odd errors already, it will show up in here. So we do. We have quite a few different errors going on here. It can't seem to determine what's going on. It is placing, but I do have a lot of different errors going on, which is not a good thing, but it's also, you know, not a bad thing because it will actually point me in the direction of what I've got going on. So let's get rid of that. And then we'll exit out and I'll figure out what's actually wrong, and then we can look at that. And I'll explain what's actually wrong where and all the rest of it.